Um, I want to start off saying I know that you knew the people from Breaking Bad and everything, and you knew that something else was coming. I feel like last time I talked to you, or like something's coming, we don't really know. It's another show that they have. Did you have any idea it would be this cool? Like so out there of a departure from Breaking Bad?
No,
No,
no.
right?
I mean, we had no idea of anything, and we don't have no idea about season two. Absolutely, like where is this going to go? No,
Right.
yeah, no, nobody really knows. He keeps it really tight and close.
So
Actors
then
don't know. Nobody knows.
So then are you working script to script, scene by scene? Do you have the season? Where are you when you start up?
They start with outlines. They
Just
have
outline.
all the out. They usually have the first few scripts. And Ashley, if I get it wrong, correct me. They usually have the first few scripts, and then they have these super, really detailed, comprehensive outlines. These outlines, you can actually prep an episode from
Oh,
these outlines.
well,
They are
that's nice.
really just very thorough, but we have just about all of it when we start the season, which is great because, that goes into like how we design things for what's coming later. And, so it's super helpful and gives us a lot of time. And then I usually go and flag stuff that's going to, that is going to take a lot of time, like the Ice Hotel, Air
We're
Force One, all
building a
that
whole
stuff.
building
Well,
a whole
yeah,
cul-de-sac of houses.
well,
How
yeah, the
about that one?
cul-de-sac, that was where we started. And we were working during the strikes, so we were able to continue the building and stuff. Actually, I can't remember if you were laid off for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, I was on for 2 weeks
Right.
before the strikes. And then you guys moved forward with building the
Yeah.
cul-de-sac for several months.
Yeah, for several months. And it was
Yeah.
just me and Den's, the art director, one set designer, like 3 days a week, and a construction crew.
Wow.
And so that was our only project. We had started the stage build and everything, but that all shut down too. And so they allowed us to continue because you get to a point, you can't just start it and then walk away.
Well, no,
So we
not in
had
this
to
type
get,
of construction.
yes, we had to get to a point where we could board everything up. And what we did is we built the structures, laid all the slabs and poured the street and everything, and put the roofs and everything. And then we boarded all the windows and doors up. And we had to lay all the gravel
Oh, wow.
because the EPA, we have this dust mitigation thing, and so we had to do all that before we could walk away. And then they finally shut us down, and we were only gone for like a month or 6 weeks. And then we all came back
Oh,
and got
in
started.
October. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was right after Thanksgiving because I was so happy to be off. I'm like, maybe they're not going to go back till January. It's like, no. So we came back and we started, landscaping. And I had already put like trees on hold that they were holding for us and everything. And then set deck came back, and then the whole art department came back. And then we continued with the building on stage and stuff. And then we had to really hustle and like, where are we going to get all these planes? Where are we going to,
Oh,
what are
yeah.
we building? How are we going to do this ice hotel? So those first three episodes were like, I
Jam-packed.
couldn't even believe that. Okay, we've done three. Now
Jam-packed. Well, they're films. I mean, you're doing
yeah,
mini films, and
yeah,
I stress that all the time in television that our bar is it's film. We're doing it
yeah,
in less time, less money, and it looks phenomenal. Like it's film quality, and that's what we do now, which is great because
yeah.
we don't want to do, things that don't look great. But
Right.
Ashley, so then you came back and had how much prep?
I think it was what, maybe 6 weeks? No. Yeah,
Well, we started shooting
eight
because we
weeks.
pushed, because remember
Yeah.
we pushed. So
Yeah.
it was probably about 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Was there anything in Carol's neighborhood that you insisted it has to be real. Like I can't fake this. It has to be real. I mean, you created all of this. Is it all real material? Like did you you know,
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
yeah.
mean, the
all,
way Vince works is he doesn't like to fake it. He wants
Okay.
it to be real. He wants to be able to have a conversation about, hey, what is this? And then you can have a dialogue about what it is and why it's there. And he's like, okay, great. That's amazing. So, yeah, we had like real gas meters outside the houses, like all the air conditioners and things, and all of the things that made the outside of the house facades real.
yeah. And the roofs, because I'm like, okay, guys, in this script it says drone. We know what that means because they
Right.
were going to VFX all the roofs. And we built these houses for real. I mean,
Yeah.
real roofers, real everything. So we were just like, I'm like, Ashley, we gotta do the roofs. So we had stovepipes and compressors and swamp coolers. And so we did all the roofs, which they were Diane Mercer, our post-production producer, she was like, they did the roofs because they were planning on, and then the same with the backyards. They were like, well, you can just do each backyard episodically. And of course, then when the team comes back and Vince and he's like, well, what about this? What about this? So
Yeah.
then we had to immediately like, okay, now we got to do all the backyards, which I knew from the
Yeah.
beginning we were going to
Yeah.
have to do that, but it takes people longer to realize what. And so we did, all the backyards too.
Did you have a different because structurally, did you have to bring in different construction crews? Because I
We,
mean,
I had, I have my regular Albuquerque crew, Steve Brown, and then before the strikes and everything, I was like, there's no way one construction team can do this. So then I called Bill Gideon, who works with me here, who I do the Muppets with and everything, and I said, Bill, I want you to do the neighborhood, and Steve can do the stage work.
hmm,
And on Bill's crew, he has some real builders who, when they're not doing construction on movies and stuff, they're actual, contractors and builders and
no,
stuff.
that's good.
But
Yeah.
and so they knew how to speak the language of the real world. So we did get like real roofers to come out and do the roofs. And
Oh, yeah.
we had people that actually knew what they were doing, laying slabs and doing the street and pouring the
Yeah.
concrete and everything. But we reduced that crew because, we were shut down. So the people that were working on the stage just hopped on to the people from Los Angeles. So we ended up with only like 4 people from Los Angeles that were kind of managing that project.
So it's like about 3 months. Like, but, you start and stopped and everything, but about 3 months to get
Well,
this cul-de-sac
no. I started the show in I started the
getting
show mid-April.
building, like when you
We didn't
started.
start building till July because we also had to go sit at the city
More.
and we had permits and people couldn't wrap their heads around what we were doing. So it's kind of half movie, half really building. So we had to sit with all these different departments and they're like, well, what are you going to do for
Listen,
restrooms?
Albuquerque, we're giving you a tourist attraction. Just be quiet.
Right. So, we had, like I said, we had to get the EPA involved and, structural engineers.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of that before we actually got the building permits. And then we started building in July to the end of September. And then we came back and we didn't finish till we started shooting like probably the beginning of March because the
Oh,
landscaping, was kind of a big deal too. It's all a big deal. The
God. Oh,
dressing,
yeah.
there was a lot of dressing that had to happen, and every house had to have its own garage door and make sure it didn't look like the neighbor's garage door, and every house had to have their own door and their own type of window and their facade, and then it was in the script that from her house she could see all the garages because there's that scene where everybody's leaving. And so Vince
Right.
always wanted her. So we kind of designed the house in that way where, everything, she could see everything. And then we graded each slab. So we would like, okay, we got to raise Carol's house a little more. We got to raise house number one a
Oh,
little more.
wow.
We have to lower the houses down the hill so it doesn't obstruct the view. So we
Right.
would go put out stakes and, so Vince could come and see where the roof line of like house number six was going to hit. And so, I mean, it's like meticulous planning for,
Yeah.
because Vince is, he's so detailed, thank goodness. But people that haven't worked with them before, they're, oh, that's good enough. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah. I
It's,
I like that. I mean, actually, I don't know. I mean, I like that. I like, okay, this is what you want. I'm with you. We're trying to achieve a vision here.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
between the show creator and the designer, this is what we're creating. And I want to, and we want to be able to do that.
yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
yeah,
him being able to be pretty clear about his wants
yeah.
is very helpful to our creative process.
Yeah, yeah, we're not wasting a lot of time and everything. And,
Yeah,
and we'll present stuff if we find, and there are a few things that we,
I
we're
love the
like, oh, I
models.
wish they would pick this. And usually eventually they come around
Yeah.
somehow. They have to visualize it, dining room table.
Yeah.
And
Um, forget the
but if he, we always say if he says it more than once, you got to listen and you got to move on and you got to find what, try to find what he's looking for. But he's very receptive about ideas that we present to him and super respectful and appreciative too. I
name.
mean, unlike anybody I've ever worked with.
I love that you have real, like, you have the generated model, and then you have the white
The white model.
foam
Yeah.
core model, which I always loved it. I love model making. I always love model making and like people getting the opportunity to like look in and look at it because
Yeah.
it's hard to visualize. Even computer generated things. People look at it and they're like,
Yeah.
oh
They don't
yeah.
get it.
When
Yeah.
they can touch it and see it and like pick it up and look at it, it's always fun.
Yeah, yeah. It was Julian Scalia, our art director. He started as our assistant art director, and then he art directed like episode 5 through 9, and he he built the model, did a great job. I mean, it's kind of spot on everything in relation, and even and Jimmy, our set designer, who was trained as an architect. I mean, he could figure out all the grading of the houses and
Mm,
stuff. So we had to pass like Jimmy's drawings on to the engineers and people that were grading the land.
wow.
So it was, something you don't do on every TV show.
No, and it's something we who I always love to think like I never knew I would be researching blah 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 like and now
Right.
I'm an expert at it. Um oh yeah, I have the you had pictures in your ADG packet of the grading and laying the black top and
Yeah.
my God, it's just so much work.
Yeah.
So much work.
It was a lot of work. It was, thank God we had time because I don't know. I guess we would have just thrown a lot of people at it, but it was nice to have the time to really, and then our interior, which is so gorgeous, I think. I
The
love that.
tile work in the interior is fantastic. The flooring, the color choices and everything, and then the accentuating of the fixtures and the furnishings, and I think really brings out the character of
Yeah,
Carol and her partner. Like it really like, oh, she's well to do and she's got taste. And like, some characters don't have taste.
yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
do, but they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and it was nice that we could do that because, we also didn't want it to look like, an extension of Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad, where they thought, oh, it's Kim Wexler now lives in, this
Right.
house. So, we had to make it look different. And it was great to be able to we had all those picket tiles were like custom and
Mm,
they weren't quite right. So we ended up painting a lot of them. And then the tile in the kitchen, we have a duplicate kitchen out at the site. And I think we did a vinyl floor there. We did a printed vinyl for those tiles there. But whenever you're really in the interior, we shoot it on the stage.
mm.
It's more complete.
So you
But
had to buy doubles for a lot of things, Ashley, doubling up, or did you transport things?
We ended up transporting a handful of things, but we tried to find as many doubles as we could. There were quite a bit that we could get doubles of, but it does become hard when you want those really special antique pieces.
Yeah.
Then we did
I,
have to move those back and forth.
I have to say, I'm always, after being a former decorator, I'm always amazed that Ashley, that and we're in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, I've
no
been there.
idea. There's no, you know, and that I'll ask for like, we need some higher end rugs. She's like, okay. And then I don't know where she's getting stuff. And it's like, it amazes me every time that these pieces that she finds are just outstanding. And I'm like, like I said, we're in Albuquerque. And somehow, she's got the magic touch, and I'm glad it's her, not me. I just don't know. I'm amazed all the time after decorating for so many years and decorating on location. And I mean, I've decorated in Boston and play bigger, and this,
Yeah.
it's amazing. I mean, even if it's not a Santa Fe style or a Southwest style, she can still find, what we're looking for always. So
Thank
How
you.
how how far away is the site from your stages?
Maybe
about
like 25 minutes.
yeah,
Oh, that's
20,
not bad.
25 minutes. It's on
That's
the west side of Albuquerque.
What's
so
wonderful about Albuquerque is almost everything is 25 minutes or less.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Like,
yeah,
and when you hit
that's
traffic,
true.
it's about 6 minutes.
That is true. I mean, I worked there in the mid 2000s and yeah, you could get everywhere. Well, I don't know where you're going, but it was the first time I had ever gone to a Walmart. And I was just like, oh my God, thank God for Walmart. Thank God. Oh my God. That's all I know. But how did you come up with her style? Like, what was your triggers of, oh, that's her character? Like, what pieces really like nailed it? You always kind of start with a sofa, but was there other pieces, Ashley?
Well, Denise had put together an incredible lookbook
Mm,
Yeah, it's
that,
lots of research
yeah.
based on high-end, Southwest style contemporary. And so I put together a lookbook of kind of the looks we wanted. And then and Ashley took that and went and like that dining room, there's a combination of like these modern chairs, a modern light fixture, but like an older piece, that hutch back there and that chair is like, older pieces with history. So, so it doesn't look like a showroom.
right.
It's eclectic and
Yeah.
Yeah.
it feels more real that way.
Yeah. And I feel like in every room we tried to do that. There
Yeah.
was one special piece or couple special pieces in each room that was, vintage or just really
Right.
beautiful.
And
Yeah.
and like that headboard, that's an old railing that we found in somebody's warehouse I said, that's gonna be, so we kind of grabbed that and without approval. So we kind of hold our breath on things that we love and then hopefully it passes the test. And it did. So that was a nice little piece. And then yeah, in the office, she has some more modern pieces in there, more functional pieces
Was
in the
this
office.
was this board that she writes on in the wall did you make that?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
we made that. And because Vince was very specific that, it opens like this, and that actually the back wall of it is the back wall of the bathroom. So we could remove that. So if they ever
Mm,
wanted to shoot from
through it.
her, through, we could do that. But it was a board and then another board, and it was a little complicated. We had to get special effects involved, and they weighted it. And then those doors are
Yeah.
actually scenic. It has this kind of deco, kind of
Yeah,
French
beautiful.
polish, but it's scenic because we have amazing scenic artists on this show.
I'm also assuming with Vince being very into details, all your plumbing works. Do they do a lot of that? I mean, the
We set it
kitchen.
up so it can be like we
Yeah.
always have to put it in as
Yeah.
if they're going to use it
Yeah.
Yeah. Making it as
every
safe as
time.
possible.
Yeah.
Did you have any script lines or anything that led the design of it?
One thing that for in my part is at the beginning when the event happens, she's scared. She goes and she closes all the windows and all the drapes and
Hmm.
shutters and everything. So I was like, how are we gonna light it? The DPs are gonna hate this, because everything gets really dark. So I designed this atrium that goes
Oh yeah.
from the bottom floor up to the top. So you also have you also can go around it on the top floor. So there's views from this atrium from the living room and the dining room and her office and their bedroom. So the
Oh
atrium
yeah.
provides some natural light. Yeah, that's the atrium. And that's a whole separate set, this upstairs part. But so we did this atrium, which that kind of informed, and the way she runs around the house, I kind of kept it open with these arches. So when you're standing in one room, you can see
Yeah.
layers of the other room. And I was really pleased because the DPs
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
use that as almost like she's weaving in and out of these spaces. And
Yeah.
so, that, I kept things curvy, arches and,
Very
round.
feminine.
Yeah, yeah. So
Ashley, do you have one piece that you saw and thought that from the script, like, oh, I found it. Like, there's always that of like, oh my God, I actually found it. Found like
Um, I don't
maybe not from
really,
the house, but like any of the sets.
oh,
There's
I
so
don't
many
know.
sets. I mean,
There's so many. Yeah. And I don't know. I think it's hard for me on this one to say that because we end up doing so much research
mhm.
and like it ends up just becoming like, oh, there it is, rather than like that's what we needed. I'm not sure if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
tends to happen a little bit more organically, but
Then yeah.
yeah, but my favorite piece is a piece in the hallway that I don't even know if we've actually gotten to see very much. It's across from the kitchen and it's this
Oh.
beautiful like uh 1920s 30s hutch. It's
Ooh.
gorgeous.
Oh.
Has like the
oh right,
uh
right.
Coke bottle glass in like amber. It's
Oh.
stunning.
But there were some that like in other parts of the thing, there was one real challenge. I had sold Vince on, the big meeting in Spain.
Oh yeah, I
And
have
I
it.
had sold Vince on like, we want blue plate, we're gonna have
Oh yeah.
blue and we're gonna do this. And so it's like, so I talked him into these blue plates that of course I found on the internet. And it's like, we, I thought we're not gonna get the blue plates. And she had a buyer that drove to
Madrid, I
Madrid,
think. Yeah.
found the blue plate. They found them, they brought them because I wanted this whole table setting to be this monochromatic, silver blue, because our table, and he was very specific about the table, and it was made out of
Zinc.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And there was a big aging process with that too that kind of went on for days.
Why does the
Yeah.
table need to be made out of zinc?
He wanted a little reflection and he didn't
Oh,
want a tablecloth, and we wanted this. And when things take over, the show actually has kind of a uncluttered, the hospitals are kind of
yeah.
austere, uh so we kind of, was just kind of continuing with that.
Where did you shoot this in Spain?
Yeah, we shot this in Spain.
Ashley, did you get to go to Spain?
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it was really wonderful.
Yeah, that was at this hotel, this fabulous boutique hotel in Guitarria near San Sebastian. And
Oh,
when we
fantastic.
scouted it the year before in the summer, we were like, okay, this is perfect. And then we went back and it's like October and we're like, it's gonna rain. So we had to build this
You have to
whole
build that.
thing. We built that whole thing that kind of matches the location. And then we had to green it out and everything. And then, we built the table and Ashley got the chairs and all the table stuff and the beautiful
It's
centerpieces, which,
beautiful. Yeah.
they can't cut flowers and stuff. So there's certain things we can't do because they wouldn't cut flowers, but maybe there's fruit on the ground and leaves. And so she made up this beautiful centerpiece that
Yeah,
uh,
all the rules.
all the rules.
All
Yeah,
the
you got to
rules of the
follow the
show
rules.
start to get in the way of pretty things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's something that you have to think about all the time. How
Yeah.
many rules there are, what you can and can't have in places.
Right.
Oh
In
God.
Quechua village, like things that, like they wouldn't have some fresh things. It was
Right.
mostly like root vegetables or like, with that kind of dressing.
Right.
Now, I know anyone who hasn't seen the ending, you gotta fast forward. But that village at the end, where's that?
That's in New Mexico.
That is okay. I was
Yes,
like, where did they
it's in
go?
Pecos. Can you hear my dog? Is it bothering?
No,
Okay.
no, he's
It's in Pecos and I wanted to build that somewhere like in the Canary Islands or something, but I'm glad we didn't because it would have been really hard. But yeah, it was just empty land and we cleared I haven't put that on my thing. I
I
should
know you didn't even have.
I
I mean,
know.
I don't
Well,
have all of
because
your
when I
photos.
posted this, you can't post anything before it shows. So
Yeah,
when I posted this, we hadn't seen that yet. But yeah, we built all those huts and we cleared all
oh,
the land and you know, and
it's a beautiful village and all
yeah,
the
I think
textiles and everything that you had there.
yeah,
It's really
yeah.
beautiful. That's why I
Lots
was
of
like,
research with
where
that.
did they go for this? I mean, I really thought that it was a location. I was like, there's just too much detail here. But I'm fooled constantly by all of our work. So, which
Yeah.
it's a compliment. The ice hotel is so much fun. Now, this is a build. I mean, you have a picture, but tell me how big this was. It's huge. They got a hallway, you got a bedroom. It's a big
And it
build.
was even bigger, but they cut it, they were like, okay, this is getting expensive for a teaser. I mean, we had this whole bar and these birch trees encased in ice, and it would have been super cool, but I'm happy with what
Oh
they
yeah.
did. But it's a pretty big room.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know offhand how big it is, but it is pretty big. And we hired these fantastic sculptors that came in and, I'm like, I want this like koi fish Japanesey kind of because I figured that the waves, and there's a lot of research we did on these ice hotels too. They start from scratch seasonally. So every season, these places hire an artist to design and build a hotel room. So each room is done by a different artist. So
Oh,
we kind
wow.
of embraced that idea. And and I thought, something that's flowy and because our room was kind of octagonal. It kind of had a
Hmm.
roundish, but with,
Like igloo stylish.
yeah, yeah. And so that's how we came up with that. And then we found these ice blocks that we got from Germany, I think, because, we didn't want it to look super fake, but some of the real ice hotels look fake like this.
Yeah.
The
Well,
real ones do. And then
I was
Ashley,
gonna say, Ashley, is that furniture or is the like, did you
We
find?
mostly built that out of the ice blocks.
Mm,
And then, so yeah, there was the bar
yeah,
and the side tables. And then we had these beautiful slab cut pieces of wood
mm.
that we put on top.
yeah,
And then I think there was a couple pieces of furniture. There's like a bench and a chair and a
yeah,
wardrobe.
yeah,
The integrated lighting is really nice too to highlight all the
yeah. And
sculpting and
they really
everything.
do
Really
light them
pretty.
like this. They do
Really
all this
pretty.
kind of special lighting and stuff. And then
How much is it a night? I'm never going, but it's thousands, right? It's thousands a night to go there.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
probably. I think it's probably like $1,200 a night, but then you have to get there too.
Yeah, then you gotta go. I'm not going there. I saw this sprout scene and I I freaked out because I was like, oh my God, I would die if this was in a script and be like, you're CGIing this, right? Like this isn't real. This isn't real. Like I just want to know, I want to know, is this a real sprouts?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
And they agreed to let you take out all of their food and put it back?
There's a cutting line, but all this front area, probably those shelves back there. Actually, did you guys empty those shelves in the back? I think there was,
There was a line, it stopped at like the bulk goods.
yeah, yeah. And
So
then they'd
those,
be effects beyond that. But
But
all this
still,
front area, everything she interacts with
the
and everything
nuts.
is all real. And it
yeah.
was, yeah, a couple of overnight crews and then put it back.
Well,
Had
that's
to
what
put
I'm.
it all back.
So, how long did it take to take it all out?
So we were really lucky. The Sprouts crew actually helped our set
Oh,
deck
thank
crew.
God. Thank
Yeah,
God.
so we had people with our team that knew where things went, how to get them out of there fast, where to store them in the store, and then do all that. So I think they did overnights, but I don't believe that they worked more than 10 hours
Wow.
each overnight.
And then you had to, and then they helped the crew put it back,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which took
Yes.
another day or so.
Yeah. And that was also an overnight, undressing and dressing,
Well, and then
both
she had to dress
overnights.
all the trucks,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we never knew how much of the trucks we were going to see. So, we were she dressed the trucks, so you don't see a lot inside, but they're
well, you
all
see enough.
dressed. Yeah,
Did
yeah.
you did you get to use any of the store dressing to put in the trucks, or is that your own dress? No.
No, that's our own dressing. So we focused on like getting products that Sprouts would have. We did set up like a little pickup situation with asking them to save their boxes of
Mm.
goods. Like instead of putting it in a baler, they just waited for us to come and pick up the boxes.
Oh,
We
nice.
did that for a week or so, just trying to get bulk of that right style product. And then
Ashley, how many buyers do you have?
I have two,
Two. And then
one lead,
one lead, and like 10 to infinity going
two
on.
gang bosses,
Two gang bosses, yeah.
two gang bosses, and eight core.
And how many days would you say you're on stage? I mean, there's a lot, especially these first three. You're out a lot.
Yeah, we started out quite a bit in
That
the
never
first
helps.
episodes.
That never
No.
helps. That doesn't help
um,
us.
but yeah, we started out quite a bit.
Wow.
But
And how
And,
many days are your episodes?
I'm trying to remember. Are
and
they
like
14, 13,
14 to
15?
17 sometimes.
Can't remember.
14 to
Yeah.
17, but you're prepping probably 10 days into that then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
probably.
even more because, like I said, I flag these things that we have to start
Yeah.
on early, like Air Force One. It's
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
what
yeah.
are we going to do for Air Force One?
I've done that.
And what are we going to do for the ice hotel? What are we, there were some other big ones, but,
There is
Yeah.
such a like checklist in my mind whenever I see anything like presidential or anything. I'm like, okay, they got the all right, yeah, they got okay, yeah, 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 it's great. Shoot it. Beautiful, perfect, done. Like, yeah, it's so it's not an easy thing to get it all right because they're so specific of the chairs and the phones
right.
and like the door, not like everything is so specific.
Right, right.
And
Again, a lot of research that, but we still made it our own because
yeah,
if you look at a lot of the research, and I didn't want it to be a movie, like this is like Air Force One on, whatever
yeah,
movie, because we're in some other world. We don't know who the president is right now or anything like that. So we wanted it to look different. And again, embracing that kind of now that the event has happened, things are just kind of austere. There's no excess of anything. So there's no paperwork. There's no,
Yeah,
you know,
I love the brass lamps. Nailed it. Love it.
yeah, yeah,
Thank you.
That's a
Yeah.
big build. That's a long, long
yeah,
build you had there. Like ours.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh, it's a big, I mean, it's a lot of effort. And I think she's in here 2 or 3 times throughout the season, right? At least.
Um,
She goes to
one,
Spain in it, and then
Uh,
they have a meeting in there.
yeah,
it's
they have
mostly the
the,
meeting,
Yeah.
yeah,
but it's quite a long
yeah, it's a
time on
lot.
camera.
Yeah,
How many
yeah,
Yeah.
stages did you have?
two,
Just
just two.
two?
Yeah, we're like tearing things down and put, that like tear down the ice hotel, let's put in Air Force One, tear down the,
Yeah.
you
Oh.
know,
And
yeah.
then do you say, is this ever coming back? And they go, no. And then they go, hey, you know when we said no? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mancuso's office and garage is such a
Right.
departure from the rest of everything. And it's so textured and layered. And I I had paused it at one time because it's dark on screen. It's pretty dark. And I'm like, what's going on with this guy? What is he? He's looking at the radios, like, what is he?
Uh-huh.
So how much fun did you have with his place?
It was nice because it was a departure from the other stuff, and we had to make it look different, and we're also combining locations in the Canary Islands. So with the interior and the storage unit were in Albuquerque, and
Mm.
it had to look like Paraguay. So, and then, we built that whole second story onto an
Oh,
actual storage unit. And, and then he goes through all the storage units, which Ashley had to dress,
I
which
know.
again, oh my
Storage
God,
Wars.
I
Yeah.
know.
It was a lot, and they didn't even show half of
Yeah,
what
no,
we
it
dressed.
was so much. It
Yeah.
was so much. And it
Heartbreaking.
was very hot at that
Yeah.
time of year.
Ugh.
And then we went to the Canary, and then we did the interior on stage. And I knew that anywhere we were like in another country or something, we had to really punch up the color. Like
Mm.
Laxmi's kitchen is like more intense. So everywhere you go somewhere else. And then we go to his apartment, which is very dark, but that was an actual location in the Canary Islands. And then the garage is in the Canary Islands too, where
Mm.
and she dressed that garage and then he goes down the street, which is clearly a different, we're in a different place. And just the houses and things on the street have a more intense color and a lot more texture. So I don't think we could have found that in Albuquerque. The lighting is different. Their
Yeah.
street lighting is different, and there's just details there that really make it, different. But
How
And you
much?
had been on several scouts, not
Yeah.
several. You'd been all over to the Canary Islands
yeah,
before.
which was so great because they were like, okay, we need to do a part of the Darien Gap here in Albuquerque, but I had already been to the Canary Islands, so I had photos of like the kind of plants and rocks, and we created all these rocks and stuff so we could do pieces that we could create in Albuquerque that matched with what we were the bigger shots that we did in the Canary Islands. And then the same with Manusos. We had seen all these houses and stuff, so I kind of took all that information and put it into uh, his set, which was supposed to be Paraguay. You
Did
know.
did you ship over any dressing? Did you ship dressing or did you shop it all there?
No, we shopped it all there. I only ended up shipping like a couple of posters and a vinyl record that we didn't even end up using. But yeah.
Oh, another big find though was the airport seating.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
I mean, because we had to do the interior of the Bilbao airport, which Bilbao's
Um,
not going to let us shoot it. And so we found this location by Calatrava, the architect that did the Bilbao airport.
mhm.
And there was a location that we had one day to do. And Ashley found the airport seating, and we built the signs like exactly like from the Bilbao airport. And then we dressed that and it was for this, when they all meet in the airport.
Right.
And so that was a big find because that was a challenge. It's like, how are we gonna do this?
I really, in watching this, thought a lot about the challenges of your location work on your sets because of the storyline, because nobody's there,
Yeah,
because it would be empty, like things like that. Like it's like an 80s dream, you got no background, but like
Yeah.
it's kind of weird for us because you're like, oh, there's not going to be anyone in this scene. What are we looking at?
yeah. Well,
What
like
are we?
Las Vegas,
Yeah,
empty,
Vegas. I don't
empty
have Vegas here, but
casino,
like,
empty streets.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it's challenging. You have to pay
But how did
attention.
you do Vegas? How did you do Vegas? Like, did they just take people out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for the most part, they shot it like at 3 o'clock in the morning, even though there's always something going on in Vegas, but they had chose different uh areas that they were shooting, and then they ended up taking some people out, you
And then
know.
that hotel suite, did you build that?
No,
No.
that's actually Elvis's suite. So he says in the thing,
Oh, yeah.
that's Elvis's suite. And, we were looking at another hotel because I was kind of like, we need some modern, fancy, shiny hotel that, because we don't have that look in our film. And so the hotel we were looking at fell through. And so we ended up going back to Las Vegas, scouting a bunch of other stuff. And then, this hotel, the Westgate, which used to be the Las Vegas Hilton or the International
Yeah.
Hotel, they said, well, we have these suites, and this was Elvis's suite. And Vince liked that idea that,
He would take Elvis
he
and
would, yeah. So, and then we went in, and it's this kind of Italiante, kind of over flourished, which was great because that's another look that we
yeah.
didn't have. And it really serves the story well because that's who he is. He's kind of over the top, and, his clothes are, he's got all these
Yeah.
brocade jackets and stuff. So it actually worked out perfect. And we didn't have to do too much. I mean, we changed some fixtures and some furniture and added some panels because we were on the what floor? The 40, 30.
32nd or
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
34th or
So we
something
had
like
to
that.
kind of hide like the pool that was outside and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But it worked out really well. And then when we were at the end, we were going to do the Montana stuff. We were going to shoot that in Spain in a cozy little cabin. And it's very romantic. And Ashley did a beautiful job dressing this gorgeous cabin. But things just started, this our last 2 days of shooting, and actors got sick, and it was pouring down rain, and everybody was getting sick. And so they were like, you know what? We're going to go home. We're going to figure this out. So
Oh,
we ended
wow.
up going to Montana and looking. And so we were looking at cabins and, all this cozy stuff. And we went to this one location that we didn't want. And I thought, well, let's just go see it anyway. And the views were so incredible that we were kind of like, this is great. And it also gave this sense of they're alone in the world. They're in this huge
Right.
space.
Right.
They're alone and they have the world at their fingertips. There's nobody on the slopes. There's nobody at the, so that was a big redress. That was like a dining room. And Ashley brought in and got all this, and shopped a lot in Montana too, and got all this furniture. And I redid the fireplace and some other stuff. And so, things work out like that. And we're lucky that we are working with a group that is flexible to say,
Yeah.
oh, that's kind of a good idea, or that's better, let's do that. And so,
Did,
so we have all the looks, checked them all.
yeah, you definitely do. I mean, many times over in these in these episodes. Did you do all the traveling for the location at the end of the shoot, or was it intertwined? Did you have a like shoot
It was at
three,
the
take a
end.
break? It was
It
all
was
at
at
the end.
the
We
end.
did have
So
Vegas right in the
yeah, yeah,
middle-ish,
Vegas
but
was,
that was just like a handful of days, what a week.
yeah. And Spain was at the end, which was, part of episode one. So we kind of held episode 1 and 2. So which I don't know how we could have fit in all that in a regular episode time. So
Mm.
thank goodness
So
but
you shot from what, March to December?
yes,
February. February to
And
December.
then we came back and yeah, we finished the Montana stuff in February, at the end of February.
Well, I mean, if you start season two, see you in 2 years, Denise.
Yeah, I know it's true. Why do you think I'm never leaving LA? Why do you think
I
I'm just doing stuff here? It's like it'll
God.
be good though.
And the warehouse that you guys did with all of the plastic bags and everything is so creepy and so like, oh, mysterious. And then you're like, what is she looking at in that bag? And it's a perfect ending to an episode, I must say, when they edit it that way.
Yeah. There
She
is
don't know what's
another.
going on.
Yeah,
And
that was definitely one of the most difficult things we had to do.
Yeah.
this,
Flavor
Because also
was.
yeah,
we couldn't get it right. We kept like, how about this? No, we want it to look like this. Well, how about this? So we actually researched like how you butcher something. So
right,
we had the
right.
like where you would cut things, and then we had I called it the carving circle. We had this our mill was all these guys sitting there just carving body parts, and we had bins of like legs, arms, heads, torsos, and then Set Deck took them all and
Well, it
we
went to
did this
paint
shrink.
after that.
Oh yeah, shrink wrapped all these, and then we had to put paint, like inject blood into the things. And I mean, this warehouse is huge. It's 100 feet
Yeah.
down, and then that's one row, and then there's rows beyond that, and and it was a lot. I don't know where all those body parts are now, but
They might come back. I'd hold on to them. Well, how long did this take to dress?
Um, we s- we had about a week in there, but
Yeah.
we also kind of started out like, oh, maybe we won't see the top of these. So we talked about not seeing all this, and then it just continued to get
yeah,
bigger and
yeah,
then evolve and change. So by the end of the week, we had like 25 dressers and more sculptors and like just trying to,
yeah. It just we can never really cut corners like that. I
Yeah.
mean, even unless
Well, it
Vince says
shows.
we're
It
absolutely not going to
yeah.
see that.
it
And he
shows that
will
you don't
do
want
that.
to.
He
Yeah.
will do that, but he always tells me, he goes, Denise, I hate it on TV shows when the art department does all this work and you don't see anything. So he, by his direction, they shoot everything like we see everything. We
That's
really do,
great.
top, bottom, everywhere. So we can't really
Be
cut down
careful what you ask for.
corners.
I know.
They didn't see that. Oh shit. And then you're like, oh, they gonna see over there? You're not gonna see over there, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but I mean, he's very well planned because he does these things called homework. So we get these pages and he plans out every shot and exactly. But
But he
we've
doesn't
talked
direct
about,
every episode,
no,
right? No, you
no,
have you
no, these
have
are the ones he
different,
directs.
yeah,
Yeah,
you have different directors coming in.
yeah. But it's helpful. But even with the different directors, it all goes through Vince, and we have this big approval process. And which can be painful in the process, but once we get to it, nothing changes. I don't even have to open a set if I didn't want to, or Ashley, because nothing moves. Not, the DP can't say, let's
What?
change that lamp or let's move that because,
What?
yeah, no.
It's like
I mean,
heaven. It's like
yeah.
like heaven.
Well, the process is really
Yeah, it's hard to get
hard.
there, but yeah. No, that's great. Do you
Yeah.
have of your plethora of sets, do you have one that sticks out as your favorite or like the most challenging? Let's start with Ashley.
Um, I don't know. I love her house. I really do. Her whole house,
Yeah,
downstairs, upstairs, the office. I think it's beautiful.
it is.
Um, and I think for me, after being on Saul for so many seasons, we didn't get to do that many beautiful things.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that, like that
Yeah.
was really a nice departure. But I mean, I'm proud of all of them. I think it looks great.
No, you should be. They're fantastic. Denise, but I mean, Denise, you build houses.
The,
I mean,
yeah. I mean, I'm with Ashley. I love the house, and the ice hotel was fun. The One of the biggest challenges we had was the exterior of Air Force One, where
oh,
we started out with like we found the door to a 747, and then it was like, okay, we'll just build a little bit around it, and then it'll be green screen. And then it was like, no, we need more. We need more. And then we need it up in the air, and we need to bring the stairs to it so the cast can walk up. And then they have to have a place to walk into. So that to me was a big challenge. And there were many meetings about that because we're in Albuquerque and it's a structural thing. It's an engineering kind of thing because it's like if you have this giant piece of metal, it's like a big
Yeah, wind.
flag. And I'm like,
It's very windy in
somebody's gonna
Albuquerque.
die.
Yeah,
Or
it's very
something.
windy there.
Yeah, so we had to build this giant structure, that Pete, our welder, came up with and did all this stuff. And then we had it engineered, stamped in, and then so we have a big portion of the exterior of Air Force One that they did a set extension to, and it worked. And we even had to match. We laid, I don't know, 100 feet of concrete to
Oh my
match
God.
the ground of the Bilbao airport. And then we did all these sun studies where the sun would be in Bilbao in October when we finally got there, and we're shooting in Albuquerque in the summer. So that was a complicated challenge. It's kind of one of those thankless things because you don't think about it, but it
Yeah.
was it was a deal. It was quite a deal. And we were really happy when we could pull it off
Well,
finally.
that incredible amount of detail is why you guys are nominated. I mean, amongst other things, it's such a good looking show. Congratulations, really. I know it's a ton of work, but
Yeah.
bravo. It really is a great looking show with
Thank
no
you.
people in
Thank
it.
you.
Really, they're all looking at your stuff. So that's why it looks so good. See this? If we could just get actors out of the way
Right,
to
right.
look at our sets,
Yeah.
it's like a dream art department job,
Yeah.
really.
I actually never thought of it like that. But that's a good point.
Yeah. It's
That's a good point.
everything is such a character for, I mean, sets usually are, but yeah, I felt like, oh, this is if nobody's there. Like even when she's walking through locations or whatever, it's still like an amazement to me of like you're just seeing everything like a a Vegas hotel lobby or whatever.
Yeah. Well,
It's like
another big challenge, set decorating department, which I'm glad I did, is the gym, the stadium. What would you call it?
Oh yeah, where they're all sleeping
Where they're all
together.
oh
sleeping.
yeah, all the cots.
Oh,
Or no, well
Yeah,
yeah.
they use cots or she had like a
bedding. No, they
They
were
were
all.
like pallets. We used a bunch of Japanese pallets,
mm,
like little mattress things, and uh,
that was creepy.
yeah,
Yeah, and that was all
sleeping
again
bags, and that's
real.
all real. That wasn't
And
CG.
And then there were specific things that you don't see. It's like, here's where you can get a towel. Here's where you can get a pillow. Here, there are all these
Right.
bins all over. So that was another
Yeah,
really big,
Yeah.
there were 436 individual beds
Oh
of
my.
different shapes and sizes that came together.
yeah,
And how is I mean the props are great.
yeah.
Because that overflows with props a lot. Like your props department is really good.
He's amazing.
Wonderful.
He is the best. He is
Who,
so good.
who
Mark
is it?
Hansen. Mark Hansen.
Bravo
He's
too.
really just a dream.
Well, it sounds like
Yeah.
you have an awesome crew out there. That's awesome.
Yeah,
And
we did.
throughout your travels, it sounds like
Yeah,
everything kind of works
yeah,
out and that's great. Because you
yeah,
never know. Could be a nightmare. Could be a nightmare.
yeah.
But yeah. Well, I will see you on the red carpet, girls.
Okay, great.
Yay.
I'm so
Great.
excited
That'll be
to,
fun.
Yeah.
Thank
yes.
you.
Well,
Thank you
thank
for
you so
doing this.
much.
Oh, yes. Thank you for giving me the time. And I know you guys are in good company, but I really hope you take it home.